Hey YouTube, I wanted to talk about something that is very important, I think, not only to me but to everyone. And it's something that affects everybody and at all stages of life. But most importantly, it affects those who are young because it's when you are forming, I think, when you're growing into a teenager and people are bullying you, it really does make an effect permanently. Whether you notice it or not, or choose to believe it, it does make a permanent effect on the victim. So I wanted to talk about bullying and my experience with it. And to anybody who is being bullied out there, I want to give you some hope because there's always light at the end of the tunnel, and I can tell you that from personal experience. So it started off when I was in elementary school, grade school. I was not a cool kid. Nobody thought I was cool. I was not popular. I was bullied every day for being fat, for being ugly. I got called ugly every single day by my classmates. And even though my family, my mom, my dad, my entire family, my aunt, my sisters told me I was beautiful and told me I was wonderful and strong and healthy, it didn't matter because people who were supposed to be accepting of me at school were rejecting me and telling me that I was not worth living. And there was one particular girl who bullied me a lot, and I won't mention her name or anything, but there was a popular group at school. Sorry, I always do this. There was a popular group at school, and they were sort of like a clan of about 10 of them, and they were girls, and they were like the corresponding guys. So there were the popular girls and the popular guys, and they kind of like all dated each other. And they would walk around like linking arms, all these girls, and they would walk like swinging their hips all throughout the school like, yeah, we own this place. And I was just the nice girl who was shy and didn't really know anything about fashion. I was wearing like clothes that I just felt I wanted to wear. I didn't really care about fashion at any point. So I got told awful things every day. One person told me I didn't deserve to live. One girl came up to me at lunch once with a measuring tape and measured my legs, like the width around, the circumference of my legs. So, I mean, like hearing that every day, it eventually drills into your head and you begin to believe it. So I began to believe everything that had been said to me. I became my own worst bully. I would look in the mirror and see everything that those people had told me that I was. Useless, worthless, don't deserve to live, never have any friends, will never be cool, will never be accepted, will never have a guy like her. All those things, I would look in the mirror and I would say them to myself subconsciously and just in my own head and to myself even out loud. And I had like crazy, I have pretty crazy frizzy hair as it is, but I've become more in control of it. But when I was a kid, I didn't know anything about hair products or anything. My hair was like out to here, and people told me I had witch hair or that I had wrinkles, that I needed to get surgery, that I was never going to be an athlete, that I could never be a runner. And it's funny because now I run, and I love running. But yes, so every day I was told these horrible things, and eventually my mom, and I told my mom everything, like she's my best friend, and I would go home and every day after school she'd say, okay, so what did they say to you today? And I would tell her everything, and I would cry and cry and cry, and then eventually we thought, you know what, enough is enough, we're going to go to the office. So we went to the office, talked to the principal, talked to the girl and her mom. So the bullying did stop, but the damage that it caused to me didn't. So everything that had been said to me, I believed, and I became obsessed with losing weight. I became obsessed with dieting, and this is in grade 7. I was exercising 24/7. Like if I wasn't exercising, I was thinking about exercising, and if I was exercising, I wasn't exercising enough. So I was never satisfied, and I lost a bit of weight, but luckily I had my family, and they didn't let me develop an eating disorder or anything like that because they always took care of me and got me the help that I needed and made sure that I never went down that path. And I know it's unfortunate, not a lot of people have that kind of connection with their family, and they're not that close with their family, but you have to talk to somebody if you're being picked on. If you are picking on yourself, you've got to talk to someone about it, and whether that be a parent, a relative, a friend, a teacher, a doctor, a priest, a pastor, a rabbi, anybody that you can trust with your feelings and that you can trust will be there for you and give you the advice that you need. And usually it's better if they're older because they're a little bit more mature and a little bit wiser. and they can help you out. So yeah, eventually I kind of began to heal, and I was actually threatened by someone in high school that she was going to kill me. She just didn't like my she didn't like my attitude. I guess she didn't like my positive outlook on my life, or because I had a new outlook, and she threatened to kill me. So I, instead of letting that go unnoticed and undealt with, I went and talked to the principal. Some people think that's tattletaling, but you know what? When your life is on the line, you have to do something about it. So I went and talked to the principal, and she actually got arrested on school campus and then taken away from school. Anyways, I was actually diagnosed with a disease way back when I was in 9th grade, and I don't know if a lot of you will remember it, but it was called SARS. It was severe acute respiratory syndrome. And my father is an anesthetist, and he treated one of the first 3 patients who had it in Canada. And without knowing that he had it, he brought it home, and I contracted it from him. So we both had this disease, and this illness, if you look it up, is it's a respiratory illness, so you can't be within any distance of people. You have to be in isolation, complete isolation. So we were both in separate hospitals across the city for, well, my dad was in hospital for over a month, and I was in the hospital for a week, and then I was in isolation at home for 2 months, and I had to miss school. And during that time, I wasn't allowed to visit family. I wasn't allowed to see friends. I wasn't allowed to do anything except be by myself and get better and think about my life and think about the things that I had experienced and the way that I had been treating myself. And I realized, as I was healing through this SARS illness and becoming healthier, I realized how fragile life is and how strong I am to come through something like that. And I realized that without your health, you really don't care about anything else. When you're fighting for your health and your life, you don't care about how cool you are, who has the coolest clothes, who likes you, where you stand on the hierarchy at school. And my dad, thinking that I might lose my dad, he was really sick. He almost died. And to think that, yeah, I could have had my whole family broken up. My mom and my sisters were stuck at home and had to get people to bring them groceries. Like, we were in complete need of help. We were totally dependent on everyone, and it really just put everything into perspective for me and made me realize what really mattered in life. And very luckily, we're both healthy now. We both recovered, thanks to God and to the praying and to the family and friends that we've had to take care of us and to just be there for us as moral support. And then after that, I realized that I really wanted to do something about it. So I really wanted to make a difference. So I went and became a public speaker for bullying prevention. And I went to schools and I talked about my experiences with bullying and with illness and with recovering and with becoming, a spokesperson for younger girls. And then I went and I entered a beauty pageant and I became beauty queen. So I was able to go in with this extra added element of glamour, and it was sort of like sort of like a speakerphone, it's like having a microphone, because I'm not a celebrity. I can't be like, oh yeah, listen to me, right? And I was just a teenager, so I had to have something to give me credentials and sort of that extra pizzazz, that extra something to grab my audience with. And having a crown and a sash sometimes just gets you the attention, so I was able to draw attention to this very important issue. And I want everybody who's being bullied to know that there's always a way out. You never have to react in any bad way. You don't have to take it out on anybody. You don't have to be violent towards anybody else. There's always a way, a positive way out. And if you ever need to talk to someone, there are people who will be willing to listen to you and to help you. And there's always great things ahead if you can look at them in a positive light and turn your experiences around and make them into something that can help you grow and help you learn about yourself and just become a better person. And remember that you're young and you'll still be growing, and good things are to come. So I just wanted to share that with you, and hopefully I've inspired a few people. And if you want to check out the website that I work with, the organization that I worked with, it's CAYRE, CAYRE.com. So I don't know if it's .com or .edu, because it's an education school board. But anyways, I will put links on the sidebar. Take care, guys. Bye.